Hi and welcome. This is Isam from ISD Architects. It's a firm where we help builders, contractors, business owners, homeowners realize their projects through our excellent design and also through our very creative, sustainable solutions. You see that many builders and contractors and business and homeowners struggle at the beginning of each project that they have. If you're thinking to build, the major task in front of you is where to start, how to realize this project, how to gather all the puzzles, how to solve the problem of starting, of knowing whether your project would be realized, it can actually be built. This is one of the issues that many builders, even experienced builders, face, and I've personally faced when I renovated my own house. It is where to start, and for many, even experienced builders, this is still a puzzle. You see, the puzzle leads to uncertainty, and uncertainty leads to confusion and sometimes delaying of your project, delaying of your decision, and then ending up stopping everything, and that is bad not only for your career, for your business, but also on the personal level. It holds you back and not affect you positively. So we are here to help you realizing what the problem is and how we solve it. You see, I have over 20 years of experience as a designer, senior designer, and then an architect, practicing and consulting and giving my advice to and design to many builders, large corporations and small homeowners, on the level of homeowners, from renovating kitchens and retrofitting and remodeling, all the way up to designing big movie theaters and large projects. I struggled through that process. It wasn't easy at first because there are so many things to look at, so many things to decipher. The first thing that we stumble with is understanding whether this project actually is buildable, would be approved by the city or by the municipality or by the certain local municipality. This is the question number one, and I didn't know that actually. I thought, it could be, we could start from the building code, for example, that deals with the building material and building and the spaces and the fire exits and means of egress and all that information that protects the building, protects the occupiers of the building. But then I realized after many researches and through my own practice actually, that it is normally starts somewhere else. It starts from the big picture. It starts from from a very basic understanding of whether this can be actually buildable, or this project can be approved at the end of the design process. You see, the design process has two parts. Sorry, the building process at large has two parts. The first part is the design, which can include the pre-design process and the technical drawings which we apply to the municipality to show the extent of the design and the spaces and the technical issues that has to do with the materials and the system of construction. The other part is the construction itself, where the contractor can come, or if you are the contractor, then you start building the process, building the building or constructing the building. So these two processes are actually sequential, or they could go simultaneously. However, the design part is the most important part, because this is where the major decisions are made by the design team, by the owner, and sometimes in a certain circumstances or certain types of contracts by the design build team with the owner. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about the first step that we need to understand, which is the zoning bylaws. How do we know if our building, or sorry, if our project is doable, is achievable, will be approved, will be blessed by the municipality with minimum friction, with minimum breaching to the bylaws? Of course, there are some legal process that you can go through if the bylaws didn't allow for certain types of building. Even if you're adding something to your home or to your office, then the best thing is to consult with the zoning bylaws and regulation and covenants, so that you understand if you are actually able to add this addition, whether it's in the backyard or the front yard or a second floor. It doesn't really matter, but we have to understand that consulting with the zoning is a major issue. I've done this sketch for you to realize that, or to understand what I mean by the zoning. Now, this is all hypothetical. This is a property that has these property lines, and the property actually, the first step of building any building is to consult what we call the area coverage and what we call the gross floor area, and there is some kind of an issue that you have to understand, you must understand in order to proceed, which is called floor space index, which sometimes is 0.6. These are haphazard numbers. It could be anything, but I'm just putting them here as an example. For example, 0.6 is the floor space index, or area coverage is 70% of the lot. Now, there is another thing that is really major in this process, which is the setbacks. So you can see here, there is a rear yard setback, there is a front yard setback, there is side yard setbacks. All these setbacks must be respected, must be complied with, and we're still in the zoning process. We haven't even thought of what to put here. And if there is any building here, let's assume there is a building like that. Okay, I'm going to come to that part here. Let's assume that the building is like that. So in this case, this line complies with the setback, this line complies, this line complies, this is a recess more. So let's assume that you want to build in this area. Then you can build definitely, because you're still within the envelope. You can build here, and you can build all of that, provided that you are still within the area coverage allowable, which is 0.7. That means this envelope has to be 70% of the property size. And also the floor space index, which is written that way, either 0.6 or 0.7 or 0.8, and that means the total built up area, or the gross floor area, that is 0.6 of the property. So you can occupy this, which is called the area coverage, but if you decide for some reason that you actually need to build half of it, and then you spread it on 2 floors within the 0.6 of the property, then your floor space index has been complied and has been correctly figured out. So my best advice is that we start with this. We have to go to the city, to the municipality, to the local authority, and check about these things. And we know these figures for our properties before we draw any line of design. That's the best practice. We have to consult with the zoning bylaws, zoning regulation, zoning covenants. There are other issues like privacy for neighbors. It has to be respected. Neighbors sometimes complain if you are adding, even within the boundaries of the zoning bylaw per se, but then there are covenants about protective or restrictive covenants that deal with balconies that overlook your neighbors' spaces. So my best advice is, if you have any plan to build, then the best practice would be to talk to your neighbors and make it understandable for them, in order to understand if there is any objection or any complaint or a possible complaint that you can deal with, and then you can tailor your design in order to have a good relationship with them without jeopardizing your project. There's also a second chance of a public hearing, committee of adjustment. If you're going over the limits, then it's not the end of the world. You can apply for a minor variance, they call it, and then you can go to the committee of adjustment. Of course, there are delays and there is a fee that you have to pay in order to get there and to have a hearing. But sometimes it's worth the effort because the value of the investment. If you are adding units, residential units, or if it's good for your business to expand and you're really persistent and you really think that it's going to add value, sometimes not only to your company or yourself, but also to the community. If you believe that this addition would be valuable to your community. There are other issues like, trees and urban forestry issues, like removing trees, injuring trees. If there is a ravine, all of that, these also are very, very important issues that can be consulted and can be tackled at the beginning of each project. This is how we should go. We shouldn't jump into the design process without knowing all these factors. I'm just giving you the first flavor of how zoning bylaws work, and it becomes very important that we deal with this and we allow it like a space or time in order for our project to be successful. We endeavor to give you solutions and ideas in order to facilitate the process and to make it less ambiguous. I truly believe that a developer, a builder, a contractor, a business owner, even a homeowner wishing to add a little addition at the backyard or topping up their house, they should be equipped with the knowledge necessary in order for them to have a clear picture, because clarity is everything, even in the building process. Please feel free to comment on this video, to share it, and please press the button below to like it if you like it, of course. And I'm ready to answer any of your questions regarding the zoning issues or the building code issues, whether it's national or local. And I'm really looking forward to serving you. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you soon.